Right, so good evening, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Sports Shop, where we discuss everything and anything sport. This is an Andrew Sport and Entertainment Consultancy production. I am your host, the Aki Samuel, owner, founder, and director of Andrew Sport and Entertainment Consultancy. Now, unfortunately, due to the constant interruptions, last evening's episode of Sports Shop was cut short, and we are going to continue it. Well, start it over, of course, with none other than Miss Live, and we're going to be discussing that. So we're going to be discussing the topic of body, and here we go. Good evening to you, Miss McGregor.
Hello again.
How are
I
you?
am good. You?
You're good. You're good. I am fine. I am fine. As explaining to the viewers now and who would view it later on YouTube, that due to the unforeseen interruptions last evening, we are going to do the interview today. And I was about to ask you if everything was all right, because I saw the intense look like.
I am just exhausted. I am.
Ah,
It's
okay,
just a long day. Honestly, I literally just stepped in.
okay, okay. And again, I thank you very much for making the time for us. And let's get on with it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sports Shop, and we are discussing the art form, the, the discipline, the sport, the dedication that it takes to be a bodybuilder. What is that is bodybuilding? And I am here with Miss McGregor. As I said, I dubbed her, sculpted out of the Blue Mountains out of Jamaica, a towering figure, a role model, and probably the future Miss Olympia.
Speak it
According
into being.
now,
Thank you very much.
and future,
Speak it
and
into being. Of course.
future, the first Miss Olympia to come from the Caribbean, Miss Kristen McGregor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's start from the beginning again. Some persons would have heard it last night, but for those who will come in and see it later, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Kristen McGregor. I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. I played a few sports throughout my years. I am. I did track and field. I did rugby. I did my studies in sports management, and I am currently now doing bodybuilding for the last 7 years.
Bodybuilding for the last 7 years. You know, you deceive you, but you have a disarming smile. People will see the figure, and then as soon as they start to smile, it's like, oh, she's such a sweetheart. But again, you see, look, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. But for some strange reason, as I tell people, some people who you think, it's okay, you can laugh. Some of the persons you think maybe the most intimidating persons tend to be the nicest,
Yeah,
sweetest persons here, unless you
but
get them on
in
the
the
backside.
Caribbean,
Then,
they would
then it's
say,
an entirely different,
or
different
or
thing.
barks are, or bites, something like, or bites are. I don't remember, but there was this saying that is like they're saying that we are not as how we seem.
So, Ms. McGregor, give us your bodybuilding journey and how it started and how it's continuing so far.
So how I started in bodybuilding, I was introduced by the president of the Jamaica Bodybuilding Association, who is also the owner of the gym I was attending at the time, his Fit Farm Fitness Club. She saw me training for a rugby tournament, and she asked me if I had ever thought of doing bodybuilding. I looked at her and told her no. I never thought of that. And she said I should try. I was like, I'm not sure about that, but let's see. So she said that there's a tournament coming up when I return from Miami. So she would like me to enter. I don't have to worry about anything. She'll set the training, the diet plan. I just need to show up. I told her that I'll think about it. My teammates were riling me up, telling me to just go and try it because it's summer, you have nothing to do, just explore. And I was like, let's see. Went to Miami, came back. I hide for about, I would say hide because I was literally not answering her calls. She messaged, I didn't answer the messages. And I decided one day to just answer. And she said, you're not coming to training. So I said, okay, I'll be there next week. Spoke to my dad. My dad wasn't so sure about it. He was not a fan of it, and he still is not. And I remember going behind his back and started training. It took me 3 weeks for my first nationals when I came first with best figure, and then I went. I started creating waves, and I started making history. Where I got my pro card in 2019. Also did well in the Caribbeans. And in 2019, when I got my pro card for Pro Elite, I went to Pro League in 2020 and got my pro card in December. And then I got qualified in 2023 for my first Olympia, which I am the first Jamaican. So who represents Jamaica to be representing in the Olympia? There's a delay. I think there's a delay.
Um, yeah. Okay, we're back. Okay, we're back now.
Yeah, I think there's a delay.
Yeah, there's a slight delay, but we'll go through it. Um, so the current journey that you're on, of course, you would have seen and experienced both the highs and the lows of the sport. What are some of the highs and lows you have experienced in bodybuilding so far?
Um, so I think this year was my lowest um in terms of results. I mean, I felt I was in that bracket of being qualified for the Olympia this year. And I didn't take it very well because I won Portugal last year. I went back to Portugal to defend my title this year. However, due to certain circumstances, I was not able to be properly prepared and I was placed fifth. However, between Portugal and Atlanta, it was 6 days apart, and I was placed top two in Atlanta. Now, based on the feedback, it was that my legs weren't as conditioned as they should be. I was holding on to water. And this was from Portugal. So I lost some amount of water that was under the skin to get ready for Atlanta, where I was battling for first and second. It was very close. However, again, she was a little bit more tighter than me in the legs. And then, I took at least 2.5, it was at least 2.5 weeks between Atlanta and Tampa that I had to, really get tight and dry and everything. And my coach, my supporters, people in the stands, everybody was really surprised because they were watching me transform show after show. I came in harder and better looking from the last show. And it was a little bit hard to accept this time around because when I thought that everything was, I came with everything this time, then the judge look at me and tell me, your side profile needs to be worked on. So to be honest, I felt cheated because I felt like the show was, in a favorite of the female who won. And I'll never take somebody's victory. But for a sport like bodybuilding, there are times when you're gonna feel cheated. But and that's how I call the season this year because I didn't want to be pushing to just qualify for the Olympia because the Olympia for me is not just to qualify. It's to actually place and place higher than. And I did not want to place lower than I was last year. So I just said instead of fighting to qualify, let me step back and do my background work, fix all my flaws, and then let's go back to the drawing board. Let's get back into competition. My high was when I qualified for the Olympia. That was the highest, It was like, oh my God, Kristen, you actually qualified for what everybody is trying to qualify for, everybody's dream. And it took you 6 years of just competing. And I wasn't competing like, because each year I probably do like one or two shows. So it's not like the competitors in the state who can just drive from state to state, and compete in multiple shows. I was just showing up in one or two shows, and I was able to qualify, and I was in the room. In 2020, I was a spectator, and in 2023, I was a competitor, and that was the high for me.
Wonderful news. I love that. I love the story. I listen to me. I love I love stories of persons who come out of the trenches and make it big. Coming from humble beginnings myself, stories like that
Yep.
really inspire
And
me and
if I
make me
should
want to
tell
even
you,
go.
and
Go ahead.
if I should actually tell you that when I started, the trainer who was training me at the time, the lady who asked me to try out, she went to him and she said to him, I want you to train her for the nationals. And he looked at her and told her, leave her for later. She's not ready yet. This was 2017. And I live to see the same trainer bigging me up all the time because I have done what nobody else has done for the last
Yeah,
25 years.
yeah, because I'm checking the history books and I'm looking as like female bodybuilding through the Caribbean and I'm like McGregor is up there. Who knows? He may end up in the shores of the 868 as a guest poser or for a competition. Who
Who
knows?
knows?
God bless me. I'm also into sport promotion. I may decide to dabble in doing a bodybuilding event and may call on the Jamaican Blue Mountain herself.
Well, just call on me once I'm in good condition.
Oh, no, no, no. 100% I agree with that. If you have qualified for the Olympia, come on. I when I must see those muscles popping in the
Popping.
shadows. The minute I see it, I must be like, that's McGregor. Yep, that's McGregor. That's it. If you don't mind me asking, how tall are you?
I'm 5'8". I'm not as tall
Five
as I
foot
look on
eight.
stage. No.
So I listen to me. I would have said you will at least. I had a feeling it was not 6 feet, but I kind of was close into the range. I was like 5'8". I was thinking about at least 5'10".
Yeah. But most of the girls
But
backstage are
listen to me.
always intimidated by my height because I look so tall. They're like, oh my God. And then my waist to shoulder ratio is like, so they're like, um,
Yeah, listen to me. I'm watching over the picture I put for the promo. And when I paid attention to the, I was like, oh, waist
what
is
waist?
tiny.
Team no
But
waist.
oh, yes, exactly. You know what? That's a what? A size zero?
I don't
But
know, but it's team.
when you spread, when you spread up there, it's like, yo, Blue
That's where I got my name from.
Mountain, Blue
The Cobra.
Mountain, the Cobra, that Cobra back,
Mhm.
ah, that Cobra back, yo, nah, I'd clap that up, yo. As I saw that back spread there, I was like, God damn. Like, yeah, man, I will pay money to come and see that. So, you talked about the highlight of your career being qualifying for the Olympia. What are some of the places you've visited that you really enjoy? What are some of your favorite places to visit to
You mean for
perform?
shows?
For shows, yes.
So I like Portugal. I love Portugal. Love Portugal. And so my first show, if I can go, if I count from the first, I can remember all the places. So I went to Mexico. I went to Mexico 3 times. Then I went to St. Martin, Portugal, Orlando twice, Bahamas once. I like Bahamas also. Tampa. I said Orlando. I said Tampa, Bahamas, Mexico, Portugal. Yes. And St. Martin. That's
So,
6.
okay,
All right.
cool. That's good. So most people understand, well, have an idea that an athlete needs to have a very good diet to maintain a certain physique, depending on the sporting discipline. Some sporting disciplines require you to be smaller. Some sporting disciplines require you to have more girth and more mass. But bodybuilding is a very niche discipline when it comes to dieting and nutrition because it has certain parts of your body that needs to be huge and then certain parts of your body like your waist that needs to be tiny. So the more research I you would be able to divulge more information about this. How regimented or how difficult is the nutrition or dietary aspect of bodybuilding?
So I'll say for me, once I'm not distracted or I don't have any distractions around me, I am fine where my diet is concerned. But once I have distraction or someone who is of distraction, I will have that urge of wanting to go outside on my diet. Um
Okay.
Bodybuilding, from like when I tell people that bodybuilding is the only sport that teaches you. There is no other sport out there that teaches you about your body, about dieting, about lifestyle practices, discipline, everything. Bodybuilding is a teacher of itself. So where it comes on to discipline, a lot of persons, if you don't have discipline in anything else, bodybuilding will teach you how to have discipline. if willpower, that that sport teaches you willpower, because if you're not a quitter or you're not comfortable quitting, you're going to push through to the end, even when you are at the last brink of it. So for me, basically, my diet is not the hard part. The training is not the hard part. But like, I wouldn't say any part of it is hard, but it does become difficult when it gets closer, because everything now you start getting the anxieties, you start um energy start getting really low because your carbs is low, your protein, everything is just so rigid that if you break, and a lot of persons may say, "Oh, I can't break my diet," and then once you break it, mentally you're saying, "Oh Lord, I put on 10 pounds," because you know you did something wrong, but truly you didn't do anything wrong. You understand? But because your mind is so connected or so focused that the minute you go off, you start freaking out. Your body may not even show it. Like, if you don't say, "Oh my God, I had a burger today," your body probably don't even show it. But because your mind know that you shouldn't eat the burger, that is where the things get difficult for you. Today I was talking to a friend of mine. She said she wanted to try bodybuilding, and I said to her, I will tell you right now, bodybuilding is more mental than it is physical. So you can't say, "Oh, I feel like," and "Oh, I don't want to," and "Oh," because this up here, this is what controls everything. This tell you you're not eating it, or you tell yourself you're not eating it. This tell you get up. You start moving like clockwork, training, eating, you know, recovery. You start moving on a routine, like your whole day is just set around bodybuilding. Nothing else exists. And that's just it. Your life is bodybuilding, and that's why a lot of persons forget life itself, because bodybuilding is so consuming. It makes you forget reality. So I hope I answered your
Yeah, I
question.
understand. No, no, you did. Being the life of a pro, whether it's amateur, semi-pro, or pro, once you're doing it at a high level or any of the three levels, it becomes you become it, and it becomes you. And that is the simplest way to explain it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sports Shop, where we are discussing the art form and sport of bodybuilding with the Jamaican, sculpted out of the Jamaican Blue Mountain, Miss Kristen McGregor. So, my next question to you: what are the different categories that exist in bodybuilding?
So for women, we have the bikini, we have the figure, we have wellness, we have women physique, we have women fitness. So fitness is like the acrobatic, so they do all the flips and tricks, and then they will pose for comparison. Then you have women bodybuilding. So there's 6 categories for the women. So, and each, as
Okay.
you go up, you get bigger.
Oh, well, obviously. I think I have a friend who I went to university with. Um, some similar to you, but it was just somebody just saw her figure and was like, and I think she's doing I think it's sport fitness, or I think it's the one after bikini she's doing.
Women figure.
And the transformation that, yeah,
I
the
think in elite,
transformation. Mhm.
they call it women's fitness, or yeah, women's fitness. But in league they call it figure.
Look, you lean forward there, and your entire shoulder and chest. You see, this is why you intimidate men.
That's
See
on
why
them.
you
That's on
no, no,
them. That's on
I agree
them. Yeah,
100%.
that's on them. Like every time somebody come, a man come and say, "Let me see your arms," I was like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Why are you comparing against a female? You should be like you should be ashamed of yourself.
Ah,
You should be
listen
comparing
to me.
yourself against to another man. You're comparing to the weaker side of you. Why would you do that?
Listen to me. I am nowhere close to the figure you have. So I know how to bat in my crease. I would just see you and like, good figure. You want to see? Let's see us. No, I'm not embarrassing myself like that. Nope, nope. Yeah, and you stood up there. I was like, damn. It's like, yo, cut that spread. But anyway, that's goodness. I enjoy, and every time I see something about bodybuilding, because as a child, I was a huge bodybuilding fan. I was a huge bodybuilding fan as a child. And it amazes me how much dedication that it takes to get that physique.
I'm here.
The amount of dedication that it takes to get the physique. Getting the physique is one thing. Maintaining it, as you say, is something entirely different. You know? So like the part of not drinking too much water so that the skin lies down. The skin lies down on the there. I see you roll your eyes. I'm like, that's your favorite part. That's your favorite part.
That's my favorite. I know, right? It's my favorite part. My
Your
coach and I
favorite part.
quarrel all the time. Well, not quarrel, but we all. I always like, Coach, I don't want to drink any water. Kristen, you have to drink the water. Coach, I don't want the water. Kristen, if you don't drink the water, this and this and this. If you drink the water, this. I was like, okay, fine, I'll have some.
Absolutely. You don't want to get cramp on the stage, you know. Then you're going to flex and your whole body freeze there because dehydration. But
Yeah.
yes, there's so much mechanics to this. And I want to applaud you for that. Um, continue the great work that you are doing. Because you're not just representing Jamaica, you're also a representative for not just the English speaking, but the non English speaking nations of the Caribbean as well. Yes, there's bodybuilding, but you rarely see in either men or women those who transcend, not just in bodybuilding, but in other disciplines, really transcend and reach to the top, even once. And there's once so far with the Olympia. You know, so we're calling it now the future Miss Olympia,
I
Miss
just wish
McGregor.
that we could get more sponsors from to be because what I've read, I thought it was really just in Jamaica that struggles really bad when it comes down to sponsorship. Because for me to go to a show, given that there's not even a show locally for me to enter, so all my shows I have to travel. Even for me to do that, I have to either be, you know, seeking sponsors from friends, seeking my own sponsorship, or putting on a fundraiser to get funds to go to my show. And then I realized that when I've traveled to the other states or the other countries, the athletes has the same problem. Like, they have to be funding themselves. Nobody's there to
Yeah.
help. And I'm like, for a for a sport like bodybuilding, it's just like any other sport. And
And
if you have
a
a
power
great
surge there,
population of
just
people
jump and
doing the
just
sport.
cut everything out from the house and you come back home.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder why
And
everything keep happening to my interview.
I don't, the devil is busy. And
And there's a potential sponsor online, and them don't want, if the devil don't want them hear my story. Hmm?
exactly, because exactly, it not just benefits you, but it's going to benefit me as well. And he doesn't want that to happen.
I know, right? We don't want that to happen.
Doesn't happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sports Shop, and we are talking with the iconic, beautiful, and magnificent Kristen McGregor. It's carved out of the Blue Mountain of Jamaica, the bodybuilding icon. So we're going to go into some quick fire rapid questions here. Don't take too long.
I'll
Just
try.
answer them. Answer them as truthfully as possible. What is your favorite pose to do?
Front pose.
Front pose. I thought you would have said back.
I
Front
know.
pose. Um, what's your favorite meal?
Chicken and rice or oats and eggs.
Oats and eggs. Spoken like an athlete. What is your favorite cheat meal?
There's too many. Burger, pasta, wings.
Okay. Um, what is your dream country to perform in?
Pardon?
What is your dream country to perform in?
Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay. Um, what do you like to do for fun?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. What do you
I do like
prefer?
long country drive though.
Non country lives. Okay, fair enough. What is a good day for Mrs. McGregor?
A good day is getting my workout done, um, getting all my tasks completed, and yeah, feel accomplished at the end of the day for that.
Okay. Beach, going to the beach or going on a hike?
Hike, not beach. Beach, I like the river.
They're like, oh, you're a country girl.
No, I was born and
Oh,
raised in Kingston, Jamaica. But I
oh,
have the sense of a country.
I was picking up
Very,
that demeanor. I was like, oh, you have
very
that country
nature.
vibes again.
Right.
Yeah,
Very
that
right.
country vibes about you. Also, I was like, who's your favorite female bodybuilding influence? It could be current or past.
So we have Linda Murray, who everybody says that I remind them of her. And she said it to me in Atlanta. She came to me in Atlanta and she said to me, I now realize what you were talking about when you said people came up to you saying you remind them of me because I saw it on stage today. So that's Linda Murray. And then we have Sydney Gillian. Sydney Gillian is the top figure athlete now who is going for her eighth title in the Olympia. Yes. I
Okay.
also
So,
like eye candy.
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. So, my final question to you is this. So, any female wishing to enter the sport of bodybuilding, what word of advice would you have for them?
Give it your best. It's not gonna be easy. I'll promise you that. As a woman, your hormones will go crazy. You'll feel like you want to stop, you know, but I'll say give it your best because one, only your best is good enough, and two, when you see the result, you will be more grateful for your attempt of trying the sport. And you probably like it, you'll probably even be another Olympian. So it's always worth trying.
We're trying. Very good. Ms. McGregor, I thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy day. You are a pro, so I know that it's it takes time with this, and I thank you very much for being part of Sports Shop. And I wish you all God's blessings. And who knows, our paths may cross each other sometime, and we can probably just sit down and laugh about this interview someday.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of the
All
evening.
right. You too.
All right, Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of Sports Shop, where we were discussing with Miss Kristen McGregor, aka Cobra. So I tell her that she's carved out of the Blue Mountains out of Jamaica. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of Sports Shop. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at ASEC 5000. That is at ASEC and the number 5000. And subscribe, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Charismatic Akil. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of Sports Shop. This is an Andrew Sport and Entertainment Consultancy production. I am your host, D. Akil Samuel. God bless and good night.